Hello, everyone, and welcome to. I want to do the voice like the producer in the show. Welcome to
Ash.
Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling.
Welcome to the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling.
But I love his intro. He's like, I like
Bash.
that character. Anyways,
Bash.
Nash or Bash?
Bash.
That's
is
even
great.
better.
Yeah.
He's got some great
Franklin and Bash,
great
my
moments
show.
this season.
Bash had a great time this year.
He did.
Not necessarily a great time, but I loved Bash's character this year.
Bash's character really got like in the first season it was weird because like
Yeah.
you're like, what's his motive?
Well,
Anyway,
because I got a lot to say. Because but anyways, if you haven't
too
noticed,
excited.
we're talking
my
about
glow shirt on.
Glow season 2.
season 2.
Season
John
2.
wants to talk about season 1, but that happened a year ago, so
I'm
get
sorry,
over it, John.
I just loved it so
We'll
much.
toss in some tidbits because it was,
Tidbits.
it was
Sure.
important. But yeah,
Uh,
we're here talking Glow season 2 because obviously
a great show.
we're wrestling pod, but this is a wrestling show,
and we're also writers.
and we're also TV
Yeah,
writers.
we're
That's
all-
how we all met. So we feel uniquely prepared to talk about this show.
We do.
from
Uniquely
a variety of
I
angles.
do not.
we have a special guest too.
Yeah, we have a special guest.
We figured, well, it's a show about women, so we should probably get a woman to be on the show too.
And so, yeah, that's my qualification. I come as a woman.
Yeah, that's the
So
only
I
thing.
represent, I speak for all women.
Yeah, and
For all
you're
women.
really just like here to say that we had somebody on. You don't really have to
Yeah.
talk if you don't want to.
Yeah, please interrupt me.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
I will interrupt you. I did that last time very much. So.
You're our first and only guest, actually. So
It's true.
It's quite an honor.
We're gonna have Johnny Hollywood on soon, so
That's
it'll
true.
be okay.
That's true.
Yeah.
So
true.
intros, boys.
Dylan Fleury here.
Dylan Bash Fleury.
No, I'm not gonna steal his name.
Lindsay Burns.
Yeah.
Lindsay Speck Burns.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Shane Burns.
John,
Stealing my gimmick with no nicknames? That was my gimmick.
John, the welfare queen, Barber.
There you go. I like it.
Wolf family.
Actually,
Yes.
no. I should be John. I was John.
Yeah, why
Wolf.
weren't you John She? Yeah.
John the
Wolf.
she wolf.
Johnny the
He
Wolf.
Johnny the he wolf.
Ooh. Tag team partner.
Dude, I'm so into that. Yes, love she.
Yeah. Glow season 2.
So we'll just we'll get into kind of how it rolled out. It was different than season 1 for
Big
sure.
time. Yeah.
I thought they changed the structure a lot. It was less of an
Yep.
ensemble and more of a character show.
Love that.
Which I'm into that too.
Yeah, which was cool. They just kind
They
of
developed quite a few
each
characters.
episode kind of rotated and focused on a character instead of the whole, like, all of them doing it together, and most of the focus being on Alison Brie and
Yep.
Liberty Bell.
Betty Yokel.
So I liked it though. Like, I thought it was
I
good.
dug
They
it.
gave a lot of time to the other characters that didn't get as much spotlight in season 1, who totally deserved it because they were all really well fleshed out characters.
They
Yeah.
were phenomenal. That was my favorite part about the first season. That was like everybody, even like the littlest little characters that didn't like. You think they're not that important, but they give them so much fucking shit to do and like fun shit to do too. Like even like the beatdown biddies.
Yeah.
They have fun bits in this season. They had some fun bits in the first season. Like nobody's for nothing. That's what I like.
Oh yeah, no.
Everybody everyone carries the story forward and everyone has good motivation.
It's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
Actually, there's
Yeah,
a
I don't
point
know
to
if
it. Like
it's-
everybody had a character point this year, you know, like because the first season was, I mean, not easy, but from a story writing perspective, there's a lot of setup, there's a lot of shit to work with.
There's a lot of easy conflict
Right.
there.
well, it's all about building. They were literally just building towards one show, where this one's they're building an entire season, right?
And so they had to you couldn't waste all that time on character setup because we already know these women.
Yep.
And we already know their conflicts and who they are and stuff like that. So we kind of just got to play and they all got to interact.
So
and
fun,
Be
right?
themselves and grow and evolve and stuff like that. Like what are their names? I forget. The
Which one?
comedy duo.
Oh, fucking, I don't know what their names are.
The
They
Flying-
changed,
the
though.
Flying Grannies.
They changed from the
beatdown
Flying Grannies.
biddies.
Yeah,
Beatdown biddies.
Beatdown buddies.
but they
Like,
changed. Yeah.
And they stole the Syrian terrorist site
Yeah.
to blow up a character and everything. And like that's a really good B story. man.
Yeah,
Like,
and
a
that's
really good B
that's
story.
wrestling business too, right? If
is.
they can totally
Yeah,
rip you off from
Frenchman,
stuff, yeah.
That was the thing I
Fantastic.
really liked was how much respect they gave the wrestling industry.
Oh, God, yeah.
Like that it was a true art form and all these people were dedicated to it. And it wasn't just like this kind of circus crap the way wrestling is normally presented.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
we all obviously love wrestling, so we don't think of it as this carny circus crap. And
Yeah.
it's really nice to see a show for once treat it the way we see it,
Mhm.
you know, in
It,
a serious way.
great.
It honestly feels like it's not just like it actually feels like actors trying to wrestle like the show Glow is like they were all actors and now they want to wrestle and they appreciate it. Yeah.
And it's like they actually learned how to wrestle too. Like this season, they're actually pulling out some pretty dope moves.
It's true.
They were working out there.
Yeah.
It was pretty
Killing
cool.
it, yeah. I've
That
seen
was
like,
awesome.
some of the Instagram videos these girls post, and like they're doing some like cool like sunset flip shit, and I'm like, shit,
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be able to do. Like,
Yeah,
And
they
it's cool.
killing
fully
it.
You're
dedicated.
kind of following their journey, right? Like even the
Yeah.
actors, you kind of
That's-
feel like
yeah.
they're these startups, and you're like part of seeing them actually grow.
It'd be a good
into
like
their wrestling
yeah.
characters.
Allison Brie on the indie scene soon.
Yeah. Well, it'd be a good like behind the scenes show of like watching them train in the gym. That'd be
I
dope.
love that. Yeah, with Chavo.
Well, they,
With
they
Chavo.
did show up on SmackDown, so there's been a bit of crossover already.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
Well, I think honestly, probably WrestleMania match could possibly happen
yeah,
at the end
man.
of the line.
Oh my God, yes.
If Snooki can get a WrestleMania Mania match, like
Oh,
Would
yeah.
they be able to get Allison Brie though? Would they? I think they would probably just get like.
I could see
no,
that.
why wouldn't they be
Britannica-
able to get Allison Brie?
Yeah, because it's
Maybe.
cross promo, right?
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true.
It's great.
WrestleMania.
Publicity for Glow, and I mean,
But like they did that. Oh, sorry.
win-win.
Come on, John.
Terrible.
Couldn't get
I'm
Allison
naturally
Brie. She's not like a massive star.
I'm
She's-
just saying, like they
very
did that
popular.
stupid like rap battle thing, and they didn't have like they only had what's her face, Beirut, Britannica, and
on SmackDown.
no on the stupid
Oh,
James Corden
but
show.
that's James Corden. Come on, that's not
That's true.
WrestleMania.
WrestleMania.
Come on.
Yeah, it's
It's,
Come on,
it would
bro.
be like I could see WWE and Netflix doing it as like a corporate synergy
It'd be cool.
thing. You know,
That'd be cool.
like,
Sponsoring the next season, something.
I mean, WWE content showing up on Netflix, that seems like a kind of no-brainer, right?
Yep.
So, to some extent, because they obviously want you on the network. But,
Yeah.
Well, you're talking about Vince, and he might not want to have like lose any control over his product.
Yeah,
and he might
that's
want to have an exclusive thing where all wrestling stuff is only on like
Starts his own glow.
there used to be. That'd be great.
He calls it bro.
yeah,
they were
Yeah.
talking about doing
Gorgeous bros are wrestling.
they were talking about doing an all-women's
Grow, yeah.
pay-per-view this week.
Yeah, I
Like,
saw that,
release
yeah.
And I think it's because of Glow. Like, I think they saw the success
Oh,
of Glow and the buzz. Just the buzz, like the buzz of an all-women's wrestling show, and they're trying to piggyback it. you know?
But I think the bigger reason is because they didn't bring them to Saudi Arabia. I think
Yes.
that's why they're
Also
doing
that.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still,
But
it
yeah,
works
you can,
both
it
ways.
can be both.
Sure. Yeah.
Give
We
it
can.
both.
Yeah. Why not?
So yeah, I guess like back to the characters. Like Dylan, you were saying you really like the Welfare Queen arc.
If
Sure.
if we're going, I was looking at episodes, but I did like her arc. But she kind of only really got that one episode, but it was totally worth it. It was a great episode that built that character. Her son, I don't know who that actor was. That guy was great.
really good.
really
yeah.
good.
It hit you a lot. Like the way you saw it, she's proud of what she's doing, but she also feels bad for her kid. And the way her son kind of like in the crowd of that one time when he saw her and he just felt so disappointed.
See,
Like
that was-
he was happy at first. He's like, "Oh, my mom." Then he got crushed. But then he like was like, "You know what? I'm
That
cool.
was-
if you're
yeah.
cool with it, I'm
They
happy for
really
you."
captured the nuance. I
Oh,
think
God,
throughout
yeah.
the whole season, they did a really good job with the social commentary, even maybe more so than last year. Just
Yeah.
definitely with her run, like just the complexity of, and still today, like you're presenting very stereotypical characters
Yeah.
that can reinforce negative stereotypes, and at the same time, like her son's like, yeah, you just threw a white woman around the ring, like,
Yeah.
and she was the champion. There
Yeah.
still hasn't been even a black
Yeah.
male champion in WWE.
No,
like,
yeah,
this
it's crazy.
It's pretty, it's a silver linings playbook.
Yeah.
Silver Linings Playbook, my favorite film.
First movie reference.
There was a lot of chasing this season, so yes.
Yeah.
It was a lot like Silver Linings Playbook.
In a good way.
I did like Welfare Queen's arc this year for sure. Just that everybody got time. Like Alison Brie's arc was really cool this year. Liberty Bell's arc was awesome because like
Fantastic.
she really turned into the villain.
She did.
Like, and it was interesting because obviously they're presenting her as the hero, and
That's
presenting
what I love about it.
Alison Brie as
Yeah.
the villain, but in reality that we're seeing it's the opposite.
Because I mean, at the end of the day, like you do feel like that first season, like Alison Brie did have sex with
Absolutely.
her husband, and that is bad. But then you've seen literally like she's done everything she could to make it better, and at some point either leave her alone or like. But she even said it's like you
Yeah.
clearly did this show only because you wanted to fuck me over.
It's
Mhm.
like it's
It's interesting,
It's
yeah.
fantastic. Man. It's kind of like simple and it's right there, but it works so well. Like the obvious, like the hero who's playing the hero isn't really a hero,
Mhm.
but like they do it so well. Oh, I'm sorry, they do it so fucking well. Like when I just love when she's fucking selling her all the shit in her house.
Yeah.
Just forgets about her
Yeah.
son and shit. Like it's like It's real
Yeah.
shit that like,
Yeah.
like
Absolutely.
you feel like she's just I feel like she's just a real person. That's why
It's hard. Every single
It's good.
person, right? There's no really good guy or bad guy.
No.
Everyone's, everyone's a gray villain. Everyone's a gray hero.
like
Even Mark Maron has his moments too. Yeah.
Oh god, he was awesome.
Yeah.
But, like again, I don't think he got as much time as he did the first season. It
Which,
wasn't
yeah.
as much about him,
Which-
which isn't a bad thing.
It's
I
okay,
Which
really-
makes sense too, right?
I really
the way
love
the
his
show's
character.
growing, yeah.
Like, I
'Cause,
really
like,
love his character. He's
yeah.
perfectly shitty for that role.
And it's because he does
Honestly.
shit where you like kind of hate him because you almost think like he's a misogynist, but then he completely goes on somebody's side.
Talking about Sam.
That's
Yeah,
Mark
yeah.
Maron, right?
Sam Sylvia.
Yeah. He's almost like you think he's like a misogynist, but then he's like, no, he's just super controlling. He's like this. He doesn't want Alison Brie not to be a part of it because she's a woman. He's just like, no, I just don't want anybody to be run my
He's
show.
just a really bitter fucking
Yeah.
dude, and he kind
It's John in
Yeah.
50 years.
of basically, yeah. Essentially, that's gonna be me, the mustache. I'm gonna be directing an all women's wrestling show. So
Like you see how much like his outward misogyny is like hurting everyone, but at the same
Mm-hmm.
time you come into his world and you realize he's just like a prickly old man
Yeah.
who's trying to push everyone away and hurt, do whatever he can to try to,
I'm so glad they didn't put them together too.
Yet.
That would have been weird.
Yes.
They're not gonna be
Yeah.
together.
This is gonna
No.
be a My Fair Lady
No,
type
Sewage
situation.
Joe,
It's
man.
fucking-
Sewage Joe. That guy's
you know what?
awesome.
Joe.
That is one beef I had with the season. Right from the very first scene, you can see this, like, frankly, I don't know, it's just like this kind of gross fatherly sexual tension between, like, Ruth and Sam, and you're just like, oh god, that's where it's gonna play out in, like, this season or the next. And then there's this, like, obvious good guy who comes along, and it's like,
Yes, Sewage
the
Joe.
one that you're supposed to be rooting for, but ultimately it's gonna be this Rex Harrington, My Fair Lady. She's gonna go with the asshole.
I don't know what that
old
is.
daddy creepy thing.
Never seen it. My Fair Lady.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a highbrow show.
These are Entourage Ready to Rumble type references. If you go past that, I don't know what you're talking
We don't
about.
really do My Fair Lady,
Yeah.
There's no Baron Corbin either. So.
but mad props for that rap.
Honestly, yes.
But that I would say too. That's what I kind of like about the show is that you think they're gonna go the obvious route, but they never do. Because I remember in the first season, I thought Bash was gonna screw them over by taking all the money and putting it in drugs, but he doesn't.
Yep.
And then stuff like you think they're gonna get together, but they don't.
Yep.
And it's just little things where I'm like, oh, they're going this way with it, like really, but then they swerve you and they don't. Even with like, I thought Liberty Bell was going to be way more into drugs than she was,
Yeah,
but it was
me
just
too.
one screw up
Yep.
and then she was done. And I'm like, good.
It's great.
That's all you need.
Like it's
I like how
real.
they tied that in with the first scene too. Like right in the first scene, he comes out with the coke, and it's like almost like Chekhov's gun. Like this
Yeah.
ends up being something that's so pivotal in the season, and like leading to their own downfall.
Oh, absolutely.
I really liked. I think we were watching. Me and Lindsay were watching, obviously.
Yeah.
Together. And
Me and John
you
watched it
said-
together.
You said something about
Held
like
hands.
Liberty Bell needed to take something from Ruth
Yeah.
to like even the score. Like she needed to take something
Ah,
she loved.
It's the best moment.
To
Best moment in the
be
show.
able to finally get over it. You know, she had
Yeah.
to break her leg. She had to take her
So
dream, or else
good.
she emotionally could never have actually gotten
Mhm.
over that. Despite all, you can talk that shit out as much as you want
Yeah.
to.
No, you
but
need to.
vengeance
and they
is
do.
vengeance,
They
man,
do talk it
you
out.
know?
Yeah.
Like, and I thought they did a really good job of like actually giving you sympathy back for Ruth, because
Yeah.
that's a really hard sell after how much of a shitty person she was in
Yeah.
the first season.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they did totally manage to turn it around and make
Big
her,
time.
you know, very sympathetic character who was trying her ass off to save this friendship and working relationship and everything that, you know,
Save the show.
seemed like it was totally dead. And the build of their friendship and their relationship and their change, it was like really unique and legit and like something you don't really see a lot.
Felt real.
It felt
Yeah.
real. It's like a
Felt
real friendship that
Mhm.
actually went through trials and tribs and came out the other side. I really loved the relationship along the season.
It's
Same here.
fantastic. It's like the focal point of the show, and it's like it's what the show's built around, and
Yeah.
it's so perfect. If it was even like a little bit cliched at all, it would
Yeah.
be kind of ruin the whole show. But
Yeah.
they do it so fucking
Yeah.
well.
So subtly. Yeah.
She's fantastic. What was her the actress name? Liberty Bell.
Oh well, I was just I could say that Betty Glippin.
Who is
Um,
actually my grandma? My grandma's best friend for I believe 70 years, who lives next door to my grandma, who lived next door to my grandma for 50 years, is named Betty Gilpin, and she's the sweetest thing in the
Oh.
world. She
So she's basically Liberty Bell.
She's basically the real Liberty Bell, but like I
Maybe.
think, and then I think of like how shitty like Liberty Bell is. What's her name? Debbie, and I want to call her Debbie, but like how shitty she is in the show, and then I
Yeah.
just think about Betty Gilpin.
well,
Oh, Betty.
that's interesting you said that because I just saw Glow season 1 got 10 Emmy nominations.
Yeah.
And she got nominated for Best Supporting Actress in a Comedy.
Because she's fantastic, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought she had a great season. Like, you kind of go in and you
I
don't
hate her so much, but I love her as a character.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I love the
That's wrestling.
contradiction. Yeah.
Perfect love to
Yeah.
hate them. And she does such a great job with, I think, really like just, you know, going from showcasing the pain and then going from this going to this really campy, melodramatic, like over the top face. I just thought she
I'm
nailed it.
Liberty
She really
Bell.
got it.
Oh my God, she's the Roman Reigns of that promotion, but
She's
not really.
fantastic,
She's
dude.
Lex Luger.
Yeah.
She's Lex Luger.
She's
She's
Yeah.
really
killing.
Cena when
Yeah.
Cena was not really getting over and Vince was jamming it anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that scene at the end of what's her name's episode.
I was gonna talk about that too.
oh,
Yeah, the
yeah.
welfare queen one.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. When they like save the, you know, when shit derails, and then at the moment, like in that moment, he decided to make it a like a kidnapping
Yeah.
thing.
Because she's just super racist, like just so mean. It's like,
That's
hey,
so-
welfare queen, get a job. Like, everybody's
That was brutal. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god, that like almost brought me to tears. That whole scene. Her son was
Heartbreaking.
watching.
It's perfect. Like, that's exactly the way that we view that in our time here in 2018. It's a lot different than they view it in the 70s. And
Yeah.
to be able to bring
Is
that
that-
across too.
Is it 70s or
Or
80s?
the 80s.
80s, sorry. To be able to bring that across in a way where like it
90s?
didn't seem out of place, you know, like it's a tough line to walk, man. Like, to present 80s content with the standards from the 80s today and have it not seem offensive, because most of that shit was really offensive.
Yeah.
You know, straight up. So like, props to them for the women's stuff, the racial stuff, like
Gay
honestly
stuff.
the gay stuff too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Stuff.
And
Mm.
AIDS too. AIDS was
That-
a really big part of the season, and it was
Wait, what?
yeah, man. Bash's buddy,
Who died?
he died of AIDS.
How do you know
Yeah.
he died of AIDS?
Because they said, what did they say? There was some line that was like really, really, really clearly
It
about
was
AIDS.
that he died of, well, yeah, he asked how he died, and he said it was pneumonia, technically.
Oh, I didn't hear the
With the
technically. And
implication that he had been in a gay relationship with his, you know, quote, with his butler
Yeah.
for a long time, and then he went away.
That's
He's
why
sick.
Bash was so
That's why he was
crushed.
Okay.
so destroyed at the end of the
Ah,
series.
'cause he
You
has
realize
AIDS?
that- yeah. And
Ah.
maybe he has AIDS too.
Right over
You
my
have no
head.
idea.
It was that
but
one line. It was so subtle.
it was
yeah,
so
dummy like
scary
me
at
is
the
like,
time.
how did he die of pneumonia?
You don't want it
Pussy.
to become like the show about like, oh, it's AIDS, because that's kind of a little. It's not cheap drama, but
yeah,
it's like,
but somebody like me, you need to say that because I'm not gonna get it. I thought he just got a cold and it was the
it's
80s. I'm like, they
kinda-
didn't have
you gotta read
medicine
between
back
the
then.
lines. It's subtext,
I
buddy.
don't do that. You have to tell me blatantly what happens.
I don't read into things.
I don't. I
Tell
need
me
to,
everything.
I have. That's why I have to Google
Exposition
things.
in every scene.
I don't need exposition, but just say like, fuck, just be like, yeah, pneumonia or cough, cough, AIDS.
But the
Cough,
thing
cough,
is,
AIDS.
nobody talked about it. It was super hush hush. You know the way people don't talk about cancer or only starting to? Like AIDS was like a million times that. It was scary
Yeah,
as
yeah.
shit. And everyone, it was just, people were just dying and nobody, and so fast and
Okay.
nobody knew what was happening.
That
I feel like they captured the spirit of it, like having lived through that, like extremely well.
Okay, that makes more sense because that was the one arc I wasn't a big fan of. I didn't fully get Bash's thing. Like all of a sudden, you just kind of like that relation kind of came out of nowhere. I'm not opposed to that. I don't mind that. Like I don't like when they make characters like, oh, like he's gay. This like we have to make him like flamboyant and
They
stuff.
planted the
I like when
seeds
it's
in the
subtle.
first season,
It just didn't. I didn't see. That's what I didn't remember. I had to look back at the first season because I was like, I don't remember if they played it like that with his butler.
Yeah.
I don't know if they did. And then when it happened, and then when he died, and I was just like, I didn't get why he was so crushed, but that makes more sense if he
That was
thinks
like-
he has
That's
AIDS.
like his only friend in the world, pretty much. Like Bash.
He's-
is-
For sure, but I just didn't.
They were
Yeah,
kind of soulmates, right? And
yeah I did
for
not
more
get it.
so-
I got to rewatch season 1. Yeah.
for more so than just like that they were good friends.
Yeah.
They were both confirmed bachelors
Yeah.
in the 80s.
Because he was the butler was in season 1 quite a bit. Yeah.
He was in it
I don't remember.
fair amount. Like he had some stuff. He had some couple
I don't
funny
know.
lines, but it was.
He was at the
more like-
beginning, right?
Yeah, kind of.
He like dresses him or something in the. Okay.
It's great. Like you can see that. Like it's just
It's-
it's really clear, but like it's kind of subtle.
Well,
It's
I did
obviously
there,
more
yeah.
intimate than you would expect.
Yeah, than like a butler would be.
And then there's that scene where he gets uncomfortable when the girls want to take him to a gay bar,
Mhm.
and suddenly he feels like kind of exposed or
That
grappled or
yeah,
something.
I got
Good.
that. Yeah.
Like he's a really complex character, and I loved him.
He got
He's
a lot
a-
more time this year than I thought he would.
Good. I love that
And
guy.
it
That guy's
was-
awesome.
It was excellent. Like
Yeah.
the
Bash
just-
is the best.
everybody had an arc, man, and it's like Johnny, you said, nobody was wasted, man. Like every character maxed out, and it was great. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
that's-
ended really well too. Like they did that kind of wrestling thing where you think, oh, it's over, but it's not, and then there's a new chapter. You
Oh,
at the
man.
end.
It's great.
I
love
cried like a baby at the finale.
I also
was so
cried
sad.
a lot. I was pretty
So sad.
tears.
What
I
about
kinda
it
cried
brought
at
you to
the-
tears?
Just the whole journey, and they're going to Vegas, and then you can see like Alison Brie's all happy because she's got a boyfriend, and then like Liberty Bells was pissed at first, but she's happy for a friend, and
Nice.
they're journeying, and then like they got like their show was canceled, but now it gets picked up, and they're going to Vegas and it's full time. It was just like I don't know. I'm very easy. I'm a big baby when it comes to stuff.
I'm also, to be fair, a big baby.
It's very easy to make me cry.
I cried at. I did kind of cried at the end a little bit. I got where you're coming from, but the one that made me cry most was like Welfare Queen and her son.
Yeah,
when, like,
big in that.
You think he's gonna like rip her apart for being like, oh, why would you do that?
It's true.
Then he's just like
Understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god, I'm gonna cry about it now.
Yeah, no, and even like when she was in the ring and they were like people were
That was
losing her, and
also-
she
that
looks
was
at her son and she had to
heartbreaking.
run away.
Yeah.
That was like,
Like I couldn't do it. Oh my god.
But yeah,
I'm
I
a
loved
mommy's boy.
it. I love the finale.
One
The
of the
finale's
things
great.
I didn't care for was that they got shuffled to 2 a.m. right, but then they kind of never got unshuffled. Like it never came back.
Yeah, they
Like they moved on and whatever. They went to Vegas and
Mhm.
stuff. But like they set up this oh we're fucked, we're on at 2 a.m. But then they never really got out of it. You know.
yeah, because they were never going to.
I know, but I
It
feel
wasn't
like
possible.
there's got to be some way to pay that off. Like they did something else. You know. Like
I don't get what you mean though.
You
I
know.
get that that's next season. It's just like they set up an arc that they were like destined to fail.
They
Right.
did fail. Their
Yeah, but
show.
they
They're
did-
only doing a live show. Like they're in Vegas at a live show. It's the same show. That's what they said. He's like, you're doing the same show every single night.
Yeah.
It's like shows they have like magic shows and stuff
Like
in Vegas.
Siegfried and Roy.
They're gonna get really good at doing this one show.
Yeah.
Right? And that's
So
probably
that'll
gonna
be the story, and
like,
they get
the
bored
next
of it,
season,
and
right.
Yeah.
And like I don't know, I just felt like they got put at 2 a.m. and then it didn't move. Like nothing else happened. Like they didn't even get like maybe they got threatened for getting canceled early, or they got their last show put on at 11 instead of 2 a.m. It just like it didn't go anywhere. It was just like they introduced that in like episode 4 or
Yeah.
something, and then it just that was what it was. You
I don't
know?
know. That didn't really bother me as
Like,
much. I didn't-
It gave them a journey, and then they didn't fulfill the journey. You know?
But I think
bit.
that was kind of the point of the
Yeah,
story, right? I think
that's-
it
yeah.
was like a lot of like what you're saying, Dylan. I like how a lot of it wrapped up really neatly, but then I kind of like how this part didn't. Like not everything was all happy endings
Yeah,
and shit like
yeah,
that. Like
yeah.
it was a little bit more like okay, like they definitely did hit a wall. They hit a dead stop. There's like sexual predators in the industry. That sort of shit is just going to be like a glass ceiling that's going to stop these.
It's not
from
gonna
being
be in
able to
Vegas.
succeed. I don't know how canon this is with like in terms of what actually happened on the show, and I wonder whether that was part of it too.
feel
well,
like
they
they
have the
kinda-
documentary. I started watching it a bit.
I actually
Like,
didn't
mine's good.
want to because I don't want to spoil the macro story.
I don't think it's. I honestly, I don't think there's anything similar than just the
I think
name
they're
of
just
the
gonna
show.
they're
So it's
deviating
straight
from a
to
lot.
They
Like,
just. I think they were on the air for like 4 seasons, 4 years, and then they got canceled. Like, there's nothing that's canon in the show. I don't think any of the characters are the same
It's-
names. Nothing.
really there's no character.
I know that the pilot of Glow was very similar to the pilot they were working on in season 1. Like the way it was presented and the graphics and the music and all that shit.
They did
was
the
like,
crown thing. They had instead of a belt, they had a
Yeah.
crown. That
Yeah,
was-
okay, but that's up. But I don't think there's anything. I don't think you're gonna get spoiled. Like, they don't go to Vegas in real life or anything like that.
No, it's like
They don't. It was a cable show that was very successful, and then it got It was apparently like really well ratings, but they just canceled it out of nowhere. Yeah.
It's weird.
that was another
Yeah.
great aspect. The weird fans that came out of the
Yes.
woodwork.
I
That
thought
was I enjoyed that. That was some good comedy.
It's so wrestling.
We're comedy
too.
guys, so it's great.
Yeah.
Like the She Wolf like mega fan was like, it was great.
She had a
Just
whole
so
section
creepy.
by the end, man.
It was amazing.
She had
I
a whole
love
wolf
that.
pack.
For
God. She
had a whole
Sheila,
wolf
one of
pack.
my personal favorites. Like that's great for her. Like,
Britannica's husband was Buddy from Sandlot. That was so funny. When oh my god, the best part was the wedding. Whenever he does like Bash tells him to marry her, and he's just like, "Well, fuck you. Wrestling's not even real."
He's great.
It was so
He's
good.
great.
No, I popped hard when he came on for Sandlot. I was like, "Is that Sandlot, dude?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, it is."
Yeah.
That's great.
That was a really good storyline too. Britannica also was good this year. with her
Britannica
whole-
Oh, is she gonna get AIDS too? Fuck. You're really ruining me with this. You shouldn't have told me you got AIDS. Now I'm all
Oh
upset.
my God, Britannica with
It
her.
ruins the show.
Somehow I don't think they're going to be consummating the marriage anytime soon.
No.
But I think he might, just so he can prove like it's his thing, right? Because he was very closeted.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, he was devastated, and then he had a chance to kind of like have a beard, turn it around. Yeah, so we'll see. I guess that'll be a storyline for the next.
God, I'm not looking forward to that Philadelphia storyline.
It's gonna be Philadelphia
Just-
Glow Edition. Yeah.
Philadelphia Collins.
No, Philadelphia the movie. Come on, man.
Philadelphia Collins.
This isn't Trailer Park
Just
Boys.
made a Trailer Park
I
Boys
get
joke.
it.
Come on.
Looks like you ate Philadelphia.
Philadelphia Collins. Rest in peace, buddy.
Fucking Mustard Tiger.
movie.
Mustard Tiger. Rest in peace, Mustard Tiger.
Tom
You're looking at
Hanks
my gut
was
for-
the guy
What you looking at my gut for?
Everybody's looking at your gut. It's fucking huge.
But I like the possibilities they set up for season 3 too. Obviously, new setting, new people, new conflict. Vegas is a really good setting for that show too. Like Southern Cali motel, great, but transition that shit. Make it
Vegas,
bigger.
baby.
I
Make it
really
bigger.
enjoyed like the Pink Motel type. Fuck you. I really enjoyed the Pink Motel type setting, like the very like endless summer type thing.
I thought they kind of outgrew it, so I'm glad they left it.
They did kind of outgrow it. Like it ran its course, but like I'm gonna miss it. I would lying if I say I won't miss the motel and shit.
Well, it's always good when you have one setting that you can. You know, the show has like they had the wrestling arena, and then they had that place,
it's perfect.
so you don't have to run around a lot.
Everything's so like it's yeah. It's
They'll have
perfect.
like probably like rooms in a hotel or something.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Bellagio. Or
I bet you it's similar.
And
That
as
could be
much as I
fun.
think it was cool to like spotlight a bunch of different characters, I would like to see more ensemble stuff, and so I hope they do have like some sort of a hotel scenario, or I think they can just do more group events in Vegas. You know,
Well, I think it'd be funny too if they go to Vegas and they're like, "Oh, I can't wait to see what hotel we're in. Like, it's Vegas is gonna be so awesome," and they're just in a dump, just
Awesome.
identical to the one
That'd
they're
be
in.
really
That
good.
would
It's
be
like, this
amazing.
looks the exact same.
It looked
yeah,
they make the
budget
exact
cuts.
same hotel.
It'd be really
Pink
funny.
Motel
Really?
Vegas.
yeah, yeah.
That's fantastic. Yeah. You just wrote the show right there.
Boom! I should be a writer on
Should
Glow.
pitch.
Yeah.
Pitch, buddy. Oh, I think we'd all make excellent
Yeah.
co-writers.
But I would ruin it. I'd be like, "Need more men in the show. Where's Chavo and
To be fair, I'd
Carlito?"
probably ruin it too.
oh yeah, shouts to Chavo. for
Yeah,
showing up.
and Carlito,
Honestly,
man.
yeah. I love
Carlito.
Chavo.
Carlito was in the
Good
first
for
season
Chavo.
too.
Yeah, yeah.
Chavo wasn't though, was he?
I don't think so.
Chavo was not in the first
No.
season though.
I just try to. I would just like pitch every idea. I'd be like, "Okay, this is the episode where Jericho comes in."
With Jericho?
Yeah, Jericho.
You get way too into like the wrestling and like Dylan. This isn't a wrestling show; it's a drama show.
Is there any way? Hey, you guys
Genji
ever see
Cohen.
that '70s show episode where The Rock cameos as his own dad? Can we get him on the
Yes.
show?
What about Vader time, baby? Come on, Corey Matthews.
Boy Meets
I
I
World.
was gonna say about Corey in the house.
World.
Fucking Boy Meets World.
Hell yes.
Alternate title for Boy Meets World. Corey in the house.
Oh, yeah, and the one thing I also want to mention was the concept episode where they actually showed you an episode of Glow.
well, I was gonna say, did you want to break down like your favorite episodes and stuff like that? Because we can get into that.
Sure.
Because that was definitely on top of one of my lists.
Really?
I thought
did
it was
not like
awesome.
that episode.
I thought it was weird at first, but then I got into it and I was like, I would never watch this like daily. Like I wouldn't watch weekly, but I thought it was so cool the way they did it.
I liked it.
I did not like it as a concept
Really?
episode.
Oh,
I
that
really
was cool.
I found that it
I agree.
really.
It sucked.
No.
I think first of all,
that
at
was
the
hilarious.
third last episode, it totally threw off the pacing of the series. It reminded
For sure,
me-
yeah.
Look, I felt like the actors, like, or the writers, just really wanted to do this, and it was
Yeah.
just fun for them. And they got
Yeah.
too in their own little bubble to realize that it wasn't really this isn't the show that we came to see. And then it's like a concept episode is great when you're on network TV, and it's like a Christmas episode
Yeah.
for like Community, or like a Halloween episode for The Simpsons. But this is like a binge watching network like Netflix show, and it totally threw off my vibe. It's like I didn't even want to hit next after that. It was just like, all right. I was so
What?
intermissioned and checked out that I had to actually like kind of remind myself what was fucking happening. in
I
the
thought
story.
it.
Nobody
I thought
here-
it was dumb, but like fun dumb. I don't know. I
Nobody
got
here
into
watches
it.
Stranger
Not fun
Things, do
enough.
they? Anybody know Stranger
Yeah,
Things?
yeah. I watch Stranger Things.
Like in the second season when they do that stupid episode with 11 and with like the
Oh, that
bad
episode
kids.
sucked. That
it
episode
kind of
sucked.
reminded me of that, but I enjoyed this episode. Like I genuinely
You liked
enjoyed
it? Thank you. Yeah, I thought it was a cool gimmick
I thought
thing.
it was cool. It was a fun gimmick. I'm always
It
down
was-
for a good gimmick.
It was
episode.
so dumb, but it made sense. It's like that's what the show would look like. Okay, like that's cool. It was kind of cool to see. Like you got to see more matches. You got to see like dumb storylines with
It was really
the.
fun. Like I
It was
enjoyed
just
it.
so fucking corny, you know?
I know, but that's
Like,
what I liked
so
about it.
corny.
That's because
I-
because the
but I
show's
like
corny, right?
I like corny, but I feel like that was like it just broke the flow so much for me.
But you not
like-
think that's good to have those in a show? Like if you're binge watching a show 10 episodes straight, or 13, it's good to have one that just kind of slows it down.
I would have been happier if it was just earlier.
Okay, placement's just bad for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
placement was bad, but also
Placement.
I felt like it just dragged on so long. It's a long show. I would have liked to see something like Threat Level Midnight, where it's like part of another episode where you get to actually like watch the show, but then there's also the framing device of me
Yeah.
actually watching the show I came here to see. It was just
That would be
I-
better.
too
I agree with
long.
that,
I
yeah.
felt like annoyed the whole way through that I had to like withstand like 40 fucking minutes of this. I'm so
It was
It was-
20.
okay, well, it felt like 40.
Like you put them in all in their pajamas, like when they're watching Sam Sylvia's movies in the first season.
Yeah, yeah.
Like and they just like they talk about like, oh, this was my part in the show. Like little like, I could see that like a fun framing device or something.
The more we, sorry, go ahead.
I will say I did appreciate that they tried it. That they tried to present you what an episode of Glow would be, with these people. Like, that must have been fun to shoot. And I thought it was really cool that they made the creative decision to do it, as much as I might not have enjoyed it personally.
Well, I do get your point too, that I was also waiting for it to break up, and it never did. Yeah. And then when it was done, I was like, oh, cool. Like, I was like, once I realized halfway through that they were doing a whole episode, I kind of just bought into it. But I was at first, I'm like, what the fuck? But then I just kind of ran with it.
Like,
but yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying.
That's it. It's harmless.
Yeah.
You can easily skip it. You don't need it. Yeah.
It meant nothing, right?
Yeah.
Like,
it meant nothing.
In a show where everything means something and every character means something, that episode meant nothing. Almost.
I get your point.
But I also like the idea that it didn't mean nothing, sure, for like us watching, but it meant something in terms of the storyline, because the whole fact was like, we're at 2 a.m. Nobody's watching us. Fuck it. We'll do what we want to do. And they did what they wanted to do. And it was cool in that sense too.
I thought it was cool that they showed that. I think it would be cool if they like kind of interspersed it throughout the season a little more. Like if we could see like, here's like, you're seeing behind the scenes, but then you also get these little snippets of the show, and if they could tie the two storylines together, that would be neat.
Yeah. I would have enjoyed that a little bit more. But like overall, it didn't detract a lot. It was just, it felt like a speed bump to me.
Yeah.
It was just a weird thing right here. Like, I would have preferred the mixing or something, that it wasn't just a straight concept episode.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, these are also minor complaints.
Yeah. I love the threat level midnight throwdown though. That was perfect.
That's perfect.
Perfect way to talk about it.
They gave us so much, and also it did at the end have a storyline implication, because that's how they found out that the daughter was with Sam and everything.
Oh yeah, right? I totally forgot about that. Yeah.
So, but it was
that
like
kind of
took forever to get there.
That was the other thing that kind of bugged me. I was like, okay, it's just a bottle episode, it's inconsequential, whatever. But then they end up throwing a little tiny piece of it that mattered, and then it just kind of, and then I couldn't even say, okay, it was just something that's in and of itself going to be cool. It just
really bugged you. You're so angry. Like, I am. I thought everything was amazing. I'm just kidding.
The daughter arc was good too. Like the mom showing up and everything, and like it didn't. You think she's gonna stay, and then she doesn't.
It's great.
Like
yeah,
nothing they served you was like kind of what you expected it to be, while it's still being like not predictable, but not like brain-breakingly complex.
It was very Coen Brothers-esque, like Llewyn Davis style. Like when he's gonna take the turn and then he doesn't take the turn.
It's very good.
It's like so set up for the turn, yeah.
And like you feel like he might still take the turn someday, but it's like I don't know. They do a good job of putting it out there, but leaving it.
I never saw that movie. Is it kind of similar to 10 Cloverfield Lane, where it's like, is she gonna go?
It's very similar.
You were talking about turns, so I just assumed.
It's a shot.
Are you talking about a literal
remake,
turn?
Actually,
you're talking about a literal turn, or like
he's gonna turn on the highway. That's what's gonna happen.
Okay, that's what happens in 10. Yeah, okay, I know what you're at.
Llewyn Davis is essentially a coward who has a choice to make, and he chooses the cowardly road.
Coward.
So. Because that's
by the way, thanks for spoiling that.
Just
I
watch
was totally
the movie.
gonna watch
it.
it.
If you watch that movie and you don't expect him to take the turn he takes, you're not paying attention. That guy was obviously not.
I just want to.
No, man.
JT was in that movie. That's all I know.
I thought it was really cool to see like another thing that's kind of softening Sam's character, because he's like definitely being an antagonizer all through the season, but then he like tries to be a good dad, and he's really, you can see him like struggling to care. And then there's, accepting that, or kind of go like Stand It By Ruth too. Yeah,
reminded me of me a lot.
That's what I'm. Oh yeah, that was a cool scene.
That was dope.
But I'm also glad that the daughter did go, because that boyfriend was bad for her, and I'm glad that she's not hanging out with him anymore.
That was bad news. That was one of my favorite things. The song's called "Morning in America" with a U.
That was great. I like that.
Like that dude was so great. Like his fucking mom was making his t-shirts and shit.
Oh, he was perfect for that, but he was terrible.
No,
he was
the
worst guy ever. But like he was.
I'm glad she got away.
He had a great fucking role in the show. I loved him so much.
Did. I love how she like flipped out and like wrecked his show, and they still weren't broken up as a result of that. She's like, we didn't break up.
Yeah, we just fought.
That's great. Like it's such a teenager thing though. Like it's perfect. It's written. Oh my god, like the teenagerness of that.
So I mean too, man. Even these like minor kind of like she didn't have a big presence this year. Like she had a much bigger presence in season 1.
Yeah,
but it was still really effective. Really effective and useful,
worked for what it was,
and it totally was right where she should have been. It felt like
it's like no matter how many times we can say it, it's perfect. Everyone's used pretty much perfectly the
Yeah.
whole time, and they all get something to do, which
Yeah.
is it's just so rare and with such a big ensemble cast. Like there's always someone who gets forgotten.
Yeah, they did not forget it. Oh, except for the girl that got fired right at the beginning.
That, but
The
even
Viking
she
girl?
kind of,
That
I
was
think she had
hilarious.
kind of a little arc too, because she was like,
She got fired in the first episode and then didn't come back to the last one.
It's true.
I
she
don't
had no
know.
arc.
Kind of. I'm trying to
True,
think
I
about it in
totally
the
forgot
first
about that.
season.
Yeah, that was hilarious. I love at the end too, like before the very last episode, they're like, it's like, we're gonna do what we want to do. Like, can we hire back that girl? It's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's like, ah, no, fine.
Fine.
I still think Vicky the Viking was pretty funny. I enjoyed her character.
Oh.
She's just
Good
definitely
character.
she's definitely the worst one, but like it's so hard when everyone's so good.
Those characters all kind of
Yeah.
whatever anyway.
Yeah, they all blend together. Well, I wouldn't say that, but
Like they're all kind of cartoony anyway.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
Yeah. But like
It's
she
just-
was, I got like the first, like she wanted to be Liberty Bell because she had
Yeah.
like the athletic
Yes.
background, and like she was way better in the first season. I understand like it was necessary. She was kind of like a plot device in this season.
You had to fire somebody. It's like, yeah.
She was the best one to fire.
it
so
always
we'll
happens
say
that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like the new lesbian chick. She was very great.
She was a really good character. Yeah.
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 That was
fun.
that was one of my characters. Oh, I thought you meant okay. The new lesbian character was
Needed
fun,
that
and
too.
then
Mhm.
yeah, and then the
Ex-stripper,
other
or continue. Or I guess she still was a stripper. Yeah.
yeah, she
Yeah,
was good,
she's
and
great. She's
then
fantastic.
Stop stripping.
that was a funny scene too. Whenever they're fighting for the chain thing, and he's like, 1, 2, wait, this is actually the finish? He's like, yeah. It's like, why? It's like, I don't want to be this rapper all the time. He's like, all right, slaps it again.
It's like they didn't talk about it at all.
He's just
A
like,
married couple.
what? Really? What?
That
Okay.
dude was like maybe one probably fuck. My favorite male character is probably Keith, like the referee.
Oh,
He's so great.
I like
That's
Sewage
sad.
Joe, man. That was
in
hilarious.
The first season, Keith was like baller. He was
he
so
was
good.
fantastic too in this season.
Yeah.
Not to discount Keith because he was dope and played a vital role.
I love.
I should probably say who Sewage Joe is. He's the guy that what's his-
Cameraman.
Yeah, the cameraman who
Who I kinda
if you don't
look
know what I'm
like.
talking about, in Parks and Recreation, there's this creep character called Sewage Joe. And he's awesome.
He looks similar because of the mustache.
I think it's Joe.
but it's not
might-
the same man.
I don't know if it's Sewage Joe or something, but it's a
I think
sewage
it's
guy.
Joe.
Yeah.
I think it's Joe.
But yeah, he's a stash and
He's not the same man though.
He's no,
No, it's a
cheeseburger.
completely
Eddie.
different person.
Different man. Yeah, I did like mustache man, cameraman in this season too.
But
He's good.
That was the best part. Whenever she breaks her leg and he goes in the ring
Yeah.
to save her, and he's carrying her, and he can't figure out. He's like, "How the fuck do you get out of these ropes?"
That was
like
so.
how-
That's fantastic.
you know when that happens too, he's got to become a character, right?
Yeah.
And he did. Like he was in the Russian split screen, whatever.
Yeah.
With,
Yeah.
With Zoya at home,
Yeah.
or was her sister's name? Whatever. Zoya's sister.
Mhm. The
like
good
he
one.
actually showed up
Yeah.
and he was part of the narrative because if
Yeah.
if you know, we know wrestling, if you show up and you introduce yourself in the narrative, you become part of the narrative.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, and if you,
Yeah.
even if you don't want to,
Yeah.
you know.
That was
Oh, I
great.
love that. That was one of my
If I was
favorite
a
scenes.
couple inches taller, I probably could have got that role.
Yeah. And auditioned.
And I did- like I was so tall compared to Allison Brie, and I'm like, I'm pretty much.
But you
probably
realize
the same
Allison
height as her.
Bree's probably only like 5'4", so
Yeah, I'm 5'8" though.
yeah. But you're gonna look tall, but
That's true, but then like I'll
Also,
get next to
bro.
the welfare queen, I'll look like a that'd
dude,
be funny.
stilts, man. You just gotta put flats in your shoes.
I always thought it'd be funny if I was in the show and I was married to Cherry Bang.
But then you'd have to get rid of. Oh wait, which one's Cherry Bang? Yeah, you get
I
rid
could
of
be
Keith.
Keith, yeah.
No, you
Yeah.
no.
You
Sorry,
could be
bro.
Keith.
But like I'd be like
Sorry,
so
bro.
like she'd be like the dominator of me. Like I'd be so
No,
emasculated.
if you're if you're any
my
character, you're Sam's son, or you're the character that
Yes.
Sam's daughter dates, and he likes you because
Oh,
you're just like him.
God, that would be the
Yes.
best. Holy
Absolutely.
It's like, that's one of my favorite scenes too, when he has his movie and he's at it, and the girl's like, "You can say something." He's like, "I don't fucking say anything." She says like, "This is my movie. I made it. It's all right."
shit. I do relate a lot to Sam. We'll say
Dude, you're Mark
Absolutely.
Maron in like 20 years, man.
Mark
It's a compliment.
No, I
It
feel
could be
like-
either way.
I feel like he could be like a dark timeline version of me too. For
Yeah.
sure. Oh, absolutely. Shitty and bitter and just done with it, man.
Yeah.
Like, I feel very close to that anyway.
Yeah, if you would have never met Lindsay, you would have made like
Exactly.
slasher films.
I could be
and-
Mark Maron right now.
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
Just shave the beard, mustache.
Yeah,
there
that's
you
true.
go.
But yeah, do you guys? I do have a few episodes that I was a big fan of that I wouldn't mind breaking
For
down.
sure,
but,
man. Go for it.
Other than the Welfare Queen one was great.
Shouts to Awesome Kong for being fucking
Yeah, that was
awesome too.
amazing.
My God,
you
she's-
barely remember that she's a wrestler and not
Yeah.
an actual trained veteran actress.
That's what I thought it
She's
was.
fantastic. She's
Incredible
so
work.
sympathetic, so like genuine. Like her and her son's relationship was like. That's why it's just I can't. I just want to talk about that. But we
She
talked
felt
about
like
it
a
way too
mom,
much.
yeah.
It's
I'm
just
very
so good.
excited to see her career keep going. I hope
I
she
really
just
hope
gets
she's
into
like-
acting
I
now.
hope- I
Yeah,
want to get to work
yeah,
with
yeah.
her one day, honestly.
Yeah.
That's
There you go,
probably
man.
Because she did retire, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
she's just the right age to keep doing that. Like she can't wrestle anymore, so go
And
for it.
she-
Man.
Not like wrestle, but TV wrestle.
Yeah.
Glow wrestle. But yeah, no, the episodes I really liked were okay. So aside from that one, I did enjoy the gimmicky one. But no, one of my favorite ones, I liked the ending when she breaks her leg.
Yes.
I thought that was a great ending. But then the episode afterward in the hospital, I don't know, it was just like a bottle episode, but I was a big fan of that one, and it made the one character who was the Taliban character, the girl.
Oh, Beirut.
You got to learn more about her, and I thought she was hilarious.
Yeah.
She's
She really
funny.
stood out in that
She's a really
episode.
funny girl, yeah.
And
I was a
her
big
arc-
fan of her. Yeah,
Her arc about figuring out she was lesbian.
Yeah.
So cool.
I love whenever
That was
he's
good,
like Sam's talking to her. He's like, "Oh my god, you guys actually fell in love in that
Yeah.
dance scene."
Yeah.
I don't know.
She's at the strip club and she's like so in love with her.
She's a
Like,
perv, bro.
cute.
It was
She's a
amazing.
fucking
Like,
perv, bro.
'cause she's like sitting in perv, bro, and she's just like glitter in her eyes.
Oh,
man.
I
Like,
loved it.
She's
Yeah.
lost in it.
Yeah,
I
it was so good.
That was beautiful. Like almost like they didn't even need to, and they still managed to add this character layer that was
Yeah.
fucking beautiful.
Yeah,
just
she got-
on the side over here.
Awesome.
You know,
Like
She got-
even
yeah.
just like the thing about her not wanting to be a terrorist character would be
That was awesome.
enough. But
Yeah.
like you gave her that too, and you just she kills it.
I thought it was hilarious when she's describing it too, and it's like the dumbest gimmick where she's like, "I come from the ashes. I'm the phoenix," and they're like, "Cool." Then they steal it, and then she still does it anyways. And like, yeah, we already have one person
We already got
regenerating a character.
someone
like-
changing into something. That was probably the funniest part. Was like when they're auditioning their matches.
Yeah.
And like
Oh
Janica
my
has the
God.
mannequin. She's like, "Are you gonna engage with the mannequin? What's the mannequin doing here?"
No, it's just my boyfriend. Like, wait, are you like, did you sleep with that? Like, what are you doing? He was just so enamored by the man.
So good.
Oh, there's so many good moments.
yeah, the hospital episode was great because like
I loved it.
it was that really crucial. Like we're talking about the friendship and the arc of their relationship and stuff, and that was the crucial episode.
Oh, and they
For
yelled
that.
at each other. Yeah, it was a penultimate
Like,
moment.
they finally settled the beef, you know,
Yep.
at the end of the day, and that was like the turning point episode, and it was just done so fucking well.
They both had
like-
points that were perfect.
Just their talk and the way it rolled out and the way it rose and fell, and just everybody was legit and justified. And you don't get that much in TV
Mhm.
where like everybody's right and they're killing it in
Yep.
the performance and the story makes sense. It's really satisfying.
It's
Agreed.
like the perfect storm of shit, man. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That was when I really like Liberty Bell really shone like crazy in that episode, and
did.
the one where she sold all the shit in her house.
That's probably one of my favorite. Probably
Like
my
those are
favorite
just
episode.
like she really has to hold up a lot in the show, and she just killed it and killed it and killed it like
Mhm.
every time.
She's like it's a tough role to play too because like we keep saying it's very like unlikable and like kind of bitter and like just like even, almost like Mark Maron's a little like funnier. You can get him because he's got some quick whips and stuff like that. You laugh at him, but like Debbie is just like she can be so terrible.
Mhm.
Like it's all about seeing where she's coming from, right?
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
So beautiful about all the characters in the show. They all have their reasons.
Yeah, real life, baby.
A bit closer. That was one thing too. We're talking about like coincidences and stuff, or cliches, or I guess, but her with her husband, where you think it's gonna be like a really bitter divorce, or whatever, and then he's just like, "Look, like I love that twist too." When like the secretary called to ask about the mattress, and he's like, "I was just asking because our son's moving in, and I want everything to be as perfect for him as normal." And you're like, "Shit, yeah." Like I kind of got where she was coming from. Like, got let's move, and then you're like, "Oh." Doing for the kid, and then they just kind of came together at the end. It was perfect.
Yeah, even the total obvious villains weren't villains.
Yeah. Yeah. I loved it.
He still should have called about his own stupid mattress, for God's sakes.
It's true. He should have, but that's the thing, right?
It's
It
still
made
the
it
80s.
worked perfect.
Yeah,
Because
it
if it was him calling, it would have just been a combo on the phone. But the fact that she called, it's like,
Well,
oh,
also
okay.
because they got together later in
Yeah.
the season, so it
Yeah.
provided you the basis of knowing who she
Yeah.
was.
Exactly.
Right? So,
I love
like,
it.
it might have even been a backfill writing situation where I think all of us have experienced, where
Yeah.
you go backfill a detail to make this pay off when it wasn't actually
Oh.
there in the first place.
I wasn't that good enough at that. I just I just wrote everything down, and then it was good.
Me too. Me too.
That's phase
Fist
2,
bump.
Dylan.
Oh,
Phase
there's a
2.
second phase. Oh,
I gotta rewrite my script. I can't rewrite them
Thought this was
once.
a one-shot deal.
I just look for grammar errors. I don't look for structural errors.
One-shot deal, baby. We're writing this thing in ink.
I write this in 1 hour, or else I
Yeah.
don't write it.
But I guess, you know what? Moment that I loved that brought me to tears was the ending of the match when she's the villain chicks up top, Alison Brie.
Yep.
And they're like, "How's it gonna end?" Like she's like, "Bring him home." He's like, "No." Brings out like a fucking zip line. It's like, you're winning the match.
That's awesome.
And she wins, and you're
Yeah.
like, yeah.
That was
perfect.
It was so good. Oh man, still get goosebumps from
It was
that.
like a fist bump moment. You're like,
Yeah.
yes.
And then she's heckled the crowd and shit, and you're like, yeah.
It was
She
great.
totally was in character.
Just killing
did
it.
not break
Honestly,
character.
So talented.
I love how corny it was, and also like it's almost like wrestling levels of corny too. It was so perfectly wrestling in a meta way.
Yeah,
It
it's if
really
Rusev won the belt.
Yeah.
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 I can't
It was-
believe like the women who write the show got to be wrestling fans. There's
Yeah.
there's no way they're not after
Everybody
shit they
seems
get.
to be now, man. Like
Yeah.
I saw some interview with Mark Maron and Allison Brie, and they were talking about wrestling like they totally just got it. And
If Mark Maron's a wrestling fan,
I think he
he's
is.
even more over.
I think
with
he
it.
is.
Dude, it's
That's
just
amazing.
like if anybody should be fans, it would be actors, man. That's what they are.
Yeah.
You're acting. You're putting an art
that's
form
why
together.
they get it,
Yeah.
right? Like I feel like they went through wrestling training and they all went like, holy shit, this is just performing.
Mhm.
This is just a different kind of athletic performing with character work, with all this shit that you just, like you just supplant it into
Yeah.
a wrestling ring. And it's like, that's why I think the view of wrestling was so healthy. Because they actually saw it in that positive light where it is just performing. It's a stage, man.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people when they look at wrestling don't see it that way.
They just go, like, what are you, 10-year-old watching wrestling? That shit's
Oh,
fake.
that's
And it's
fake.
like,
movies are fake, dude.
I
TV shows
know.
are fake.
My
Like,
third grade bully,
silly.
yes.
and also, too, I always love when people say, like, dude, I watched that when I was like 10. I'm like, you shouldn't have been if you're my age, because it was like for mature audiences. Like, it was not geared toward 10-year-old.
It's for adults.
It
alright?
was.
Adults, man.
Oh.
But that was cool about Glow too. Is it's like it was very family friendly. Like at the end of the day, like it was made for kids.
Oh yeah, the show they made in
Yeah.
the show, yeah.
It was made for kids, and so everything was kind of candy, but it was really fucking dark
Yeah.
behind the scenes.
Yes.
It's great.
And yeah, man, they nailed it. They really did nail it for sure.
There's one thing I'll say from the doc that was really interesting. Apparently, one of the Guerreros trained all the girls.
Yeah, Chavo.
No. The documentary for the real Glow.
The original.
The original Glow.
wow.
One of the Guerreros, the main Guerrero guys, a top guy, trained all those girls. And there's a story that apparently, when he was training them, they were in the ring and some girls were taking it seriously, and some of them, like all the girls were taking bumps, and there was girls on the ropes just laughing
Yeah.
at everything. They weren't taking it seriously. So he went over to one of them, slapped on a sleeper hold, put her to sleep, and then was like, "Yeah, no, this shit's serious. Like, does that look fake now?" And then everybody smartened up.
Wow.
Dang.
He's like, I had to show it everybody.
Didn't they
Like,
use that in the show in the first
Who would that
season?
have been? Would that have been Hector?
it was a guy with a really
Guerrero?
weird
No,
gimmick.
probably like
Chavo Senior?
Ultimo Guerrero.
Maybe Ultimo. Yeah,
It was a guy who had like I can't remember what his gimmick was, but it was like he had a specific gimmick and he wasn't very over, but he was like, I think he was like Eddie and Chavo's uncle maybe.
That's really fucking
Gory Guerrero?
cool. Man.
See if I can find it
Maybe
quick.
Gory, yeah. That's really fucking cool that a Guerrero trained the original
That's-
cast and a Guerrero trained the TV cast of the
Beautiful.
remake.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, yeah.
really cool.
But
Chavo
that's-
Senior helped out too in the first season before he died during the making of it. Which
That's
was
crazy, man.
That's amazing.
Fucking Guerreros, legends.
honestly,
Damn
man.
family.
Hector Guerrero.
Damn family, man.
The gobbledygooker, baby.
Everybody was a gobbledygooker though.
That's true.
There were like 6
He was the
gobbledygookers.
first though.
Terry Taylor,
That's true.
gobbledygooker
Oh,
too.
that's true.
Terry Taylor's great.
Wow,
This isn't a wrestling podcast. God damn it.
Yeah, Chavo had a really good role to play in this season too. Like it was, I don't know. I thought they could have used a little more of that too, the Simone family and everything.
Yeah.
Because she was like running the show and producing and everything. That's what I want to talk about too. Like her, what the hell's her name? Machu.
Carmen, I think.
Machu.
Carmen, yeah.
Machu
Machu
Picchu?
Picchu.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
her growing into the role of like producer and planning out all the matches and shit like that. It was really cool because like she would have been the one because like her family was in wrestling. She got the business. She taught the business to everyone,
she
and it
loved
was cool to
wrestling.
just see her be like treated, like a lead. Like they valued her contributions and stuff like that. Even though she was like a low card wrestler on the show, she was like a vital piece. And they all gave her credit for all the cool shit and all the stuff they
Just
were
like Norman Smiley.
It was
it's like Norman Smiley.
Armando Guerrero.
Mondo?
Mondo Guerrero, yeah.
Yeah.
Mondo Guerrero.
Names are
Mondo!
awesome, man. Ultimo
Um,
Mondo.
Ultimo Mondo Guerrero. That's my gimmick.
I did
Ultimo Mondo Mega Guerrero.
I liked that aspect too, that at first whenever Cherry Bomb wanted to steal the chop thing,
Yeah.
she's like, you can't do that. She's like,
Yeah,
whatever, we'll
I
do it.
love
And then
that.
they brought it back and he was
Yes.
like, what the fuck? And then he just got them. He's like, TV time.
Yeah.
That was so great. He's like, 'cause I
Yeah,
was
so
like, get on TV,
wrestling.
baby.
That's exactly what it is, right?
Yeah.
You can't steal anybody else's shit. And if you do, that's what happens.
Yeah.
And like again, awesome shout out to the actual world of wrestling.
Carlito.
Cool knowledge.
He should have spit in her face with an apple. That would have been amazing. Carlito, spit in
He
the
was
face of
eating an
people who don't
apple
wanna be cool.
in one of the scenes where they in the first season.
Yeah,
when
yeah.
he came to see him.
With
It was
Brodus Clay. Somebody call my
Make the cut
mama.
this year.
Yeah,
Sadly,
poor
man.
guy.
Maybe
It's
he's
because
doing
he's
security.
yeah.
Terry
Uh,
Crews style. I was doing
No
security.
Alex Riley either.
Good,
I didn't
good.
miss him.
I don't know. You guys got anything else you want to say about Glow?
We
How do you
talked-
wanna-
How long have we talked for? Like
I
3
feel
hours?
like we've done most of the episodes here, and we are at almost an hour.
Did you want to give it an overall rating? Do that, or do you really? I don't really.
Yeah,
have
let's
any-
give it.
It'd be hard. I hate.
Are we
Dave
talking
Meltzer
star
stars?
rating?
Sure.
7.
7 out of 10.
No. Oh,
7 out of
10. I was
5?
giving it out of 5 actually. I was giving it a
Oh,
7
look
out
at
of
you
5.
go.
It was no
Give it
Okada.
a-
It was no Okada Omega match.
There you go.
So,
It was. Yeah, it's good.
if we're going out of 5, I'd a solid 4.
I go out of 10, man, because 5's such a low where it's like you give it a 3, and that's technically not the. It's like average.
Okay.
I'm gonna say like 7.5.
I'm gonna give it an 8, just because I think they nailed a lot of the important kind of issues and stuff like that, and I thought the character development was cool. But yeah, I'll give it a
I was giving everybody a floor. So.
yeah.
You
Give it
went
an
with the
8.
standard 7. That's just like the basic. I don't know what to give, so I'll just say 7.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of good stuff out there
7.5,
right now,
yes.
but I'll give that a solid 8. Yeah.
It did get 10 Emmy nominations. Well, for season 1. We'll see how season 2 does.
8. Fine.
No, that was season 1 though. Season 2 might not get Emmys.
No, it came out today. I think they did.
No, for season 1 the Emmys.
Okay.
Because the Emmys are for last year, not this year.
Oh, they nominated the last season of whatever.
Yeah, because season 2 came out this year, so it can't be nominated
Why
for
don't they
last
do the
year's
fucking
Emmys.
Emmys in
That's
February like the
kinda silly.
Oscars?
But hey, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I liked. Yeah, there's a lot of great episodes. I think a lot of characters got time to shine. I'll go solid 9. Yeah.
Ooh.
I just off that leg break episode because that was awesome when she breaks a leg. I was like, oh damn. That's what I did. I was like,
There
damn
was
girl.
a lot of great moments.
I did some.
There were a
man.
lot of great moments.
There were some great moments.
Maybe you know what? I'm gonna give it an 8.5. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't feel this isn't where my heart's at. It's an 8 point.
Yeah, 7 was rude, Shane. Get out of here.
7.5.
No, that's.
Jesus, fake news.
Fake news.
But
Yeah, but I'm
Johnny,
gonna edit out the 0.5, so I sound right.
What's your star rating, Johnny?
He's gonna give it like a 9.1. Price is Right style.
6.9734. No, 10 out of 10. 10
Oh,
out of fucking 10.
boo.
It's 0
Sorry,
or
10 out
with
of 10. I love Glow so
You did
much.
not think it was a
It's the
10 out of 10.
pinnacle.
No, I did. I'm sorry, I did.
Greatest TV show ever made.
What was your
Alcohol.
favorite?
It's not even the. Okay, fine. I'll give it a 9.7. How about that?
What was your favorite Glow match in the show?
Favorite Glow match? Can I pick season 1 too?
Sure, why not? I don't care.
Obviously, the finale of Liberty Bell versus Zoya the Destroyer.
Zoya.
Zoya the Destroyer.
Yeah,
In
Zoya.
Russia, we drink milk every day.
She was fantastic as Zoya too. Holy shit.
She kills it.
Like,
It's everything.
The comedy and in 2 characters and like she was just dynamo, man.
Yeah.
Fucking dynamo. She totally got
She
it.
just gets it. She just gets wrestling.
Absolutely.
So obvious.
I'm changing my rating to 9.5. Exactly. 9.5.
I
It
think
wasn't
we can call
perfect,
this
but it was great.
A solid like 8.5 to 9.5 show here.
Yeah, it's definitely it's an A.
Definitely watch it. That's all we're saying.
Oh, I mean,
must watch it.
Don't ever take anything away from. If you're an hour into this and you didn't watch it or
Yeah.
aren't inspired to watch it,
then
why the
you're
fuck are
a
you still
fucking
here?
crazy person.
But you're a crazy person.
Get
and
some
you should
help.
really just disconnect. Your internet.
Yeah.
But like seriously, watch Glow. It's an amazing
Well,
show.
this is
So
like
good.
this is like one of the biggest praises I can give it. I have a lot of friends who don't watch wrestling, hate wrestling, but they love Glow
Exactly.
because it's not it's a wrestling show, but it's more than that,
Yeah.
and I don't know. It doesn't make you go, oh, I want to watch wrestling now. It
No.
just makes you go, fuck, that was a
my
good show.
sister loves Glow. Like my
'Cause,
sister
yeah.
and her boyfriend binged it and they fucking loved it.
Anybody
She watched
who
the second season.
anybody who's like, I don't want to watch it because it's a show about wrestling, nah.
It's
No.
not a show about wrestling.
No.
It's
It really-
a
it's a
Show
show
about
about
friendships.
a show about people, relationships, and
Mm.
shit set in the world of a show about wrestling.
Which is the perfect backdrop for so much trauma,
Mhm.
which I'm surprised I never done it before.
Sure.
I think it's great. It's almost like Mad Men is kind of like a show about the '60s. I feel like this is a show about the '80s too.
Big time.
Very
Just the
80s.
social climate.
80s are hot, and they very much capitalized on it. Probably the best they could have.
Yeah, the 80s are so hot
Better than
right now.
Stranger Things. That's what I'm saying right here.
Yeah, true.
Screw Stranger Things.
Oh, Stranger Things is a great show, man.
I
What are
know
you
it
talking
is. I
about?
fucking love it. Come
Such
on.
a
Well,
good
I
show.
haven't seen Stranger Things, and I've watched both seasons of Glow, so
Yeah.
there's my judgment on that show.
There
You
you
can't
go.
really compare the two, but if you want to.
You can't, but they're both Netflix shows. So.
Yeah, true.
They did some cross promotion.
I would say watch Stranger Things, though.
Yeah,
It's a
do
good
that
show. There you
too. This is
go.
now a Stranger Things.
But yeah, no, Glow, I mean, raving reviews over here, I guess.
Pretty much
I
really
raving.
liked
Yeah.
it.
Watch the show. It's a great
Yep,
show.
go watch
Seriously.
it.
Watch it now.
It does all the things well, honestly. Like, there's nothing really that you can super complain about. We nitpicked, because you
No
feel like
Alex
you have
Riley.
to here, but honestly, man, it was a very, very solid show.
Yeah, maybe skip episode, what is it, 11?
Skip Sheffield.
The one that you guys just
I think it was
shit on.
It's a highly polarizing episode. Best
Watch
of
it
worst
just to
stuff.
see if you guys hate it too, and let us know in the comments.
You need to
Which
form an
side are you
opinion,
on?
man.
Yeah, what side are you on?
I understand why people like that episode. I just was kind of
Yeah, and I understand why you
That's
don't
just
like
like
it, but I
opinion,
think you're
man.
wrong.
Such is the point of a podcast.
And
But-
all
yeah.
great art.
And all great art.
Yes.
Oh, great art.
And I'll just end it by saying my favorite match was when Allison Brie wrestled herself.
Yes,
That was awesome.
that was fantastic.
Oh,
best
I
thing ever.
forgot about that.
She's so good, man. She's so good.
She's so good, yeah.
I can't wait for her to do more in wrestling. Just period.
She's gonna win an Oscar very soon
No, she won't.
for Glow.
First ever TV show to win an Oscar.
No, I guarantee she'll win an Oscar in the
I
next
hope she gets
6 years.
like Emmy action on this for sure.
She should get it for this season, 100%.
This was her season, man.
Yeah. Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
She's about to blow up. That's what I'm saying.
She's about to blow
She's about to
up.
glow up, bro.
Oh, I forgot. I'm wearing a Glow t-shirt. Did I mention that?
Beat you. Got the same time, if not a bit more than you.
Yeah, we'll be back for Glow season 3 because it's clearly happening.
Yeah.
So,
We'll hit you quicker with the recap, not like...
like
it's
2
been like
weeks.
2 weeks.
it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
everybody else is throwing out their shit, and then we'll come later on.
We
It
need
is
time to
reasonable
marinate.
amount of time.
There you go.
Reasonable what mean to think.
Is a reasonable amount of time. I can't do. I just mine turns into Borat every time
You
I do
turn into
accents.
Borat
I
or
don't
like
know
a
why.
Frenchman?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't do
Get out of my horse.
I get it in my head, and I'm like, oh, I'm doing pretty good. Oh, there it goes.
My Glow.
Those are all my accents. To be fair, they're all terrible.
What's up? My name is Glow.
Is it Gly Wrestling? Love Gly Wrestling.
All right, we're full right there. Winded. So yeah, cool. Thanks for listening.
Okay, Punch Stomp.
If you want us to review more shows,
Yeah,
let us know.
subscribe.
If you want us to review Ready to Rumble, hit like and subscribe.
Oh, you don't have to tell us to do that. It's gonna happen.
No, if you want to see that happen, you should, because I'm not gonna watch that movie unless we get likes and
Yeah.
shares and subscribes here.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes. If we get 50 subscribers on YouTube, Shane has to watch Ready to Rumble 24 hours straight.
Also,
Okay,
if
I
you
do not agree to that.
Well,
I'll
it's in
watch it-
print. So.
I'll watch it once on a live stream.
Okay.
We'll
I
live
will-
stream our reactions to watching. Ready to
Well,
Rumble
so you're
again.
gonna have to watch it twice because you watch it once to think of jokes, and then the second time you tell the jokes.
Exactly.
Maybe that's what you gotta do, man. I'll just do it in the moment.
you gotta write jokes.
Fine,
Also,
fair
catch my Silver Linings Playbook review. Coming soon.
I'm gonna just riff, baby. I remember. I watched
Fair
that shit when I was like 14. Come
Fair
on.
enough. Fair enough. But all right, yeah, cool. So yeah, like, share, subscribe,
Keep punching.
follow, kick, punch, stomp,
Boom, boom,
and
boom, boom.
yeah, peace.